welcome back to the Romo Unpopular Opinions. Today I am doing a rapid fire version of the 50 bookish questions tag. Now I found that randomly when I googled bookish tags. I'm not done yet, so we will be doing a rapid fire version because 50 questions is a lot. I guess some of the answers will be short in their nature, but we will do this very quickly because I just want something very, very fast and fun that's still kind of interactive. And I haven't looked at the questions. So this rapid fire will be a bit stressful for me, entertaining for you. Let's just get into it. What was the last book you read? It doesn't say finished, it just says read. So for that one, we're going to go with Lord of the Rings. I am currently reading it. I am a decent chunk done. I think I'm almost done with Fellowship, which is the longest of the three, or it might be a Return of the King. Irrelevant. Was it a good one? It's one of the best books of all time. So what made it good? I realized that upon this reread, what I really, really like about Lord of the Rings is the humor. Like, just the unexpected, unintentional, very sarcastic humor, mostly from Pippin and Gandalf. But the humor and the nature descriptions, I feel like I'm appreciating them so much more this time. Like, the way he describes water, just get this man like a fictional Oscar. This is not rapid fire. Would you recommend it to other people? Yes, to anyone who likes fantasy. How often do you read? Whenever I feel like it. There is no other answer for this. Whenever I feel like it. Do you like to read? Aside from writing, which would probably be number one, it's my favorite thing to do. What was the last bad book you read? I might trigger someone with this one, and I'm sorry, I didn't finish it. But I'm contemplating never finishing it, and that should kind of tell you everything you need to know. What made you dislike it? Honestly, it was exactly how I expected. Like, I knew I wouldn't like it. If it turned out to be like what I imagined in my head, it's exactly like that, unless something shifts, like within the last 200 pages. But I've heard people say that the second chunk is worse than the first one, so that does not bode well for me. Do you wish to be a writer? I am. I have been all my life. As Ursula Le Guin would say, I always was one. Has any book influenced you greatly? In terms of style, I wouldn't say so, because your style kind of gets the appearance of whatever you're reading while you're writing. So, you read fan fiction. I used to, back in 2015 when Force Awakens came out. I read some very, very good Reylo fan fiction at the time. It was really good. Aside from that, I've never read fan fiction. Do you write it? I have. Not for publishing, but I have. What's your favorite book? I think everyone who's a book nerd hates this question, and I don't need to answer it. You already know. What's your least favorite book of all time? That's actually very hard to do in rapid fire because I feel like I forget everything that I don't like at this point. I have no idea. What did I hate? Cersei? No, it wouldn't be like the worst I've ever read. Very difficult to say. This is hardly rapid fire. We are only at like 15. Do you prefer physical books or read on a device? Physical. When did you learn to read? I really, really don't know, but I know that the first book I read that wasn't a picture book was Wizard of Oz, and I have not read it since. What is your favorite book you had to read in school? There's a Croatian one called... Why did I forget what it was called? This is the problem with rapid fire. Your brain doesn't work. Anyway, a Croatian one that I read, which surprised me, and I think it was like Život je san by a foreign author. I mean, I read all of them in Croatian class, so I wouldn't really necessarily know how to translate them, but yeah, I have nothing else to say. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. This is stressing me out. What is your favorite book series? I think it's obvious. What is your favorite author? I do not have a singular author who I would single out as my favorite because there's just different strengths to every author that I love, so I wouldn't really single out a single one. What's your favorite genre? I think it is obvious. Who's your favorite character in a book series? Again, picking favorites is useless when you read more than 2 books ever. So like it's useless. But I think we all know which characters I love. I've talked about it enough. Has a book ever transported you somewhere else? I'm reading Lord of the Rings, and that's actually the only book I would say yes to, because I've never experienced immersion on that level. Like, I get really immersed and emotionally invested, but I'm never there like I am with Lord of the Rings. Which book do you wish had a sequel? I think everything I love has been well rounded out, but I would like more Winter Night. I know Catherine Arden is doing other stuff, but I would like more Winter Night, and that's, I'm not going to lie about that. Which book do you wish didn't have a sequel? Maybe we could have cut down some of these. That's definitely true. I have no idea. How long does it take you to read a book? December through March, very quickly. The rest of the time really depends on my mood. Do you like when books become movies? Never. pretty much never. Excluding like The Hobbit and Watchmen, never. Which book was ruined by its movie adaptation? I don't think that's a stupid question, because the books have nothing to do with their adaptation, as I've well learned throughout my life, but I think a lot of adaptations would definitely put you off reading a book, so maybe that's what you mean, but definitely this. You would just be so confused and so bored if you just watched the adaptation. Which movie has done a book justice? I've already said it multiple times. Harry Potter too. They cut out a lot of stuff, but like the vibes are there and the actors were really good. Do you read newspapers? No. I don't think I've ever read newspapers. And back when we had physical ones, I always just kind of laughed at how there's dirt on your fingers after reading it. Do you read magazines? I used to be an avid collector. Do you prefer newspapers or magazines? Neither. Do you read while in bed? No. I should, but no. I hate reading while lying down. It's just so uncomfortable. But then my back hurts when I read while I sit. So basically, never read. Do you read while on the toilet? In extreme cases. When I really can't put it down. Do you read while in the car? No. Absolutely not. I am sick. I am sick in cars and buses. Planes and boats are fine, though. We're getting closer. Do you read while in the bath? I am never in the bath. Are you a fast reader? Again, depending on the time of year, my mood, and how much I'm liking the book, but generally, yes, I think I am. What's your favorite place to read? Outside. I said this before, in the rare case that no one is actually outside. Is it hard for you to concentrate while you read? Generally not. I have no problem with like picking up my phone, getting distracted. If I want to read, I am not easily distracted. And if I am, that's because I probably didn't feel like reading. Do you need a room to be silent while you read? No. I developed that in middle school. No. I could tune everything out. Some books like do kind of feel better when it's quiet, but no, I don't need a silent room. Who gave you your love for reading? The universe. I don't know what to say about this. What book is next on your list to read? When I finish all the stuff that I'm currently reading, I have to continue The Witcher, finish Revenge of the Sith, finish Catherine Arden because it's not winter anymore, and I have to continue with The Wheel of Time. So quite a bit of books. In terms of new books, I have nothing to say. When did you start to read chapter books? What are chapter books? What the hell are chapter books? I have no idea what that is. Who is your favorite children's book author? Roald Dahl. Has to be him. He's just so creative that it's fun when you're young and it's fun when you're older. It's just so out of the blue that it's entertaining. Which author would you most want to interview? Probably a lot of the dead ones. But if we're gonna go with someone who's live, Alan Moore. Like every time I watch an Alan Moore interview, I'm like, I just want to sit down with this man for a couple hours and talk INTJ to another INTJ because I love listening to him talk. Which author do you think you'd be friends with? I don't know. Alan Moore. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Maybe Catherine Arden. I've also heard her in a lot of interviews. I feel like I would love to be friends with her. What book have you reread the most? I had that question in another video, but if we exclude Attack on Titan and manga and stuff like that, which is very easy to reread, I think all the books are kind of similarly reread. There's not one that I've obsessively reread. Which books do you consider classics? I consider classics anything that was written before my parents were born. I guess that's how I see it. It doesn't have to like be. There are modern classics too, something that was published like 20 years ago, but are considered classics. So it's a very weird definition. Which book do you think should be taught in every school? Frankly, I think not a specific book, but they should diversify genre. Like if you're learning about literature, it's not very useful to just read the same type of book in different centuries. Like, what have orphans been doing when they are oppressed by the rich in every century in existence? I think that's useless because that's not the only genre that exists. Like, I think we should learn the origin of Gothic literature, but like not just classic literature, but like, I don't know, horror, the origins of romance, the origins of fantasy, everything like that. Which books should be banned from all schools? I have a couple Croatian examples because some of them are just not readable. But I generally think like stuff that is slogs. Just stuff that is slogs. Put like a paragraph of it in a book and tell kids this slog was something that was made up but it was influential at the time because everyone was miserable. That is all we need to know. There are so many books in school that make people think they hate reading because they think reading like that's it for reading. All this representative literature is what encompasses all reading in history. I wouldn't want to read either if that was the case, but luckily it isn't. So that was actually all the questions. This was a bit faster than I thought it was gonna go. That's it for the video. I hope it was somewhat fun. These rapid fire kind of like tags are a little dull if my answers are something you've heard before, which I always try not to do. But all the tags they feel like they were crafted by the same person because it's like, what's your favorite book? What's your favorite character? What's your favorite genre? And that's kind of it. I don't want to repeat myself and then I just blab about something useless. And this was very quick. This might be like a random video I post before I do something else, but that is it about being creatively burnt out because I'm currently slogging through draft 2 of my book, and that's an issue. And I have a lot of university work to do, but in other news, I do hope to do another normal reading log that's not just 2 hours. So I'll see you in the next video, whichever one it may turn out to be.